Hey, we're live, but there's nobody here right now. But what's interesting is that let's see how we tune in. So this is the first time we're going live like this, and what we really want to talk about is the Canada single-use plastic ban. And what this means for businesses, what it means for the government of Canada, what is this impact that they're going to have? What are they trying to achieve? And more importantly, are there loopholes in this plastic ban? And what are companies doing about it? So as you know, if you may not know, the single-use plastic ban, it actually goes into force yesterday. And so it went into force, and so what does that mean for manufacturers or importers? Well, essentially it means that they still have the opportunity to import or manufacture from the date of force, which was yesterday, till 6 months out. But they also have the ability to sell product from the date of force, which was yesterday, 1 year from now. So next year, 2023, December 20th, that's the last day that they have to sell into the Canadian marketplace. But there's a lot of misconception, a lot of loopholes that are being put out there. Let's take an example. Let's talk about a product like cutlery. So cutlery is very interesting because there's a beautiful loophole that people are finding out. And the loophole is this. Basically, if you can prove that your plastic cutlery that you have now can be used in a home dishwasher cycled over 100 times and it doesn't lose any of its physical properties, and guess what? It's considered reusable. So a lot of people are going out there, a lot of other companies, whether they're importers of plastic, whether they're a manufacturer of plastic locally, or they manufacture or import CPLA or PLA product, they're testing it out. They're taking it to a third-party lab. They have a certificate. It says, guess what? Our cutlery can be used over 100 times in a standard home dishwasher, so it's now reusable. So is this ban really helping curbing plastic? Is it going to help the composters who don't want the bioplastics in their composting environment? Now they're going to be, forced to accept it? Where are they going to go? Back into the landfill? So there's a lot of questions being raised on this ban because the federal government has put loopholes all over the place, and it's not really being effective because many people are kind of exercising these loopholes and they're not making any changes. So you're not going to see people eliminating plastic cutlery because they've got these certificates that say, no, mine are considered reusable as per your test requirements. So then what do? Do we just outright ban plastic cutlery, which is what I think we should do, and then only stick to a certain kind? Like if we had commercial composting facilities that accepted biocomposite products, then we'd have a great system. But the other issue is that commercial composting facilities, they don't want to accept biocomposting. And why is that? It's because they can't declare their compost, which is their black gold, as grade A or organic. They can't fetch the big bucks. And also, if you try to push back on the bioplastic, they can yield faster compost turnarounds, and so they can make more money in the shorter time that they're in business. So there's a lot of reasons why the composters don't want to accept bioplastics, but I also feel by not accepting them, we're causing a bigger problem. Maybe they should have some municipal government composting facilities that do accept the bioplastics so that we have a proper solution, because you need to have a way of composting all the pulp products, all the bioplastic products, all the PLA cups in the market. So what do we do with all these other compostable plastics, compostable pulp products that are not going to be put into a commercial composting facility because composters don't want them? Don't think that's the solution either. So in other words, this plastic ban that's coming to effect, it's a double-edged sword. It limits what you can use. And within the aspect of what you can use, I'm going to just jump to a pulp packaging for a second. So you may or may not know this, but pulp is what is it? Paper? So what is paper designed to do? If you put water in paper, and it's called PFAS, it's polyfluoroalkyl substances. This type of compound that's used in the entire creation of a pulp product, it pretty much gives you that grease barrier, a water barrier, but it also has been linked to causing testicular cancer and kidney cancer. It's also been banned in 4 states in the US. It's a matter of time before that ban comes over here. What are you left with? Paper boxes. Paper boxes that are water-based coated or poly-lined for now, that hopefully can be recycled in the future. But really, your entire line of products that you can use is becoming very much like this. Let's talk about foam hinge containers for a second. People always frown on foam. But why is that? Part of the reason is because they feel that when you put hot food into foam, it could touch. This is that you have to look at the weight of foam. Foam is extremely light and bulky. If you think how much raw material is used to make a foam container versus a pulp container, you have to use almost 10x more, maybe even more than that. This is how, from my understanding. So foam is made out of expanded polystyrene. So they come in little pellet forms. And one little pellet can expand into its size 30x. So if you have a product that expands 30x, and then you've got pulp that you have to add so much more weight to come to the exact same size of the expanded foam, what's going to be more costlier in creating the product, and how much more is your landfill going to weigh because of the balance of this foam offshoot? It's like you're using way more material, way more energy to use a compostable product. And this foam product was actually a lot cheaper, a lot more inexpensive to use. Granted, it is made out of a petroleum product, but now how are we going to justify using all the energy and the clean water to make a pulp product when you had a foam product? If we have proper recycling facilities, MRF centers, material recycling facility centers, in my opinion, that would be the best way to kind of mitigate a lot of our systems that we're having that are failing right now. I think the biggest fail that we have is we never really attack the head of the snake, which is what it eats, garbage, all the waste channels. All the waste channels are privatized. We don't have much of a municipal waste channel. And I think that's one of the biggest problems and challenges is the government, instead of banning all these things, they have to also look at the infrastructure and invest into making more composting facilities, find out ways in which they can recycle plastics much more than they are now. What is it, 13%? Maybe that's even a high number, 9% in Canada? That's sad, man. Look at the size of our country. We should be doing way more than just 9% of recycling, let alone composting. That's a separate topic altogether. But the government is failing us on giving us a proper infrastructure that we require. And that's where I feel that we should be putting our attention on, not necessarily focusing on the bans, because the bans are actually creating more problems in the long run. There is not going to be elimination of PLA, CPLA cutlery. There's not going to be elimination of plastic cutlery. Why? Because they've got loopholes. So what are we doing here? Wasting time, wasting energy, wasting taxpayers' money and figuring out who's going to carry the burden. But you have to go to the root cause, and the root cause is we don't have the systems. There's no infrastructure. So we need to focus on building the correct infrastructure in order for us to facilitate the proper models of recycling and composting. Then you can figure out what products will go in these channels. But if you don't know what your head is going to be eating, what are you going to be feeding it? I'd love to hear your comments. I'd like to hear if anyone has any sort of issues with respect to maybe a product that they're trying to find and they're confused. I don't know if I should be using a t-shirt shopping bag, compostable t-shirt shopping bag, a paper bag. By the way, let me tell you about the paper bags. In, I want to say Scandinavia, but I'm sure that's not it, but I did a YouTube channel on this once, YouTube show, sorry. The plastic bag literally was the first eco-friendly bag. That's right. It was released because it could do a few things. Number one, it would save trees from being cut down. Number two, it was a type of bag where you could fold it up, put it in your pocket, and then reuse it over and over and over again. It's human beings, us, that have just become so lazy that instead of reusing our bags, we just toss it. But I know many immigrant families, they'll reuse that bag 3, 4, 5 times before it goes in the garbage. But I don't think paper bags are the answer. Paper bags, in fact, are extremely heavy, make a big carbon footprint. Do you know that one tractor trailer load of plastic bags, sorry, let me rephrase that. One trailer of paper bags is equivalent to 7 trailer loads of plastic bags. No, sorry. One trailer of plastic is 7 paper bags. But that's just the amount of discrepancy there is, because you can get 1,000 pieces of plastic bags in a small little case like this and 250 pieces in a big case of paper bags. So in order to store them, transport them, inventory them, you have to have 7x amount of more space than you do as a plastic bag. So it's mind-boggling. Ladies and gentlemen, I gotta let you know. So we're gonna be live on CTV News this evening, and I think the van's pulling in. So if you want to watch a segment on CTV News this evening on a single-use plastic ban, we're gonna do an interview with them right here live. It won't be a food packaging TV situation, but this way at least you'll get to understand what's going on in the marketplace and to figure out what's going to be in it for you, what's going to be in our best interest moving forward, and as a country, what should we be looking for and how it impacts you. Anyway, we'll talk to you soon, okay? Take care. Bye for now. Thanks for joining in. Take care. Bye-bye.